a world that was just the Resident Evil 4 save room, but for some reason I was not able to change the music at all. Like it wouldn't let me change it. It was like this set playlist just specifically made for VRChat. It was using a GitHub add-on or something like that, and it was just weird. I want to do a replay. I'm always down to play Resident Evil games, but I kind of want to do an Inuyasha one. Well, maybe it's to do one as the remake comes. Like, there's a remaster Inuyasha 2 coming out, and that's the only one I played like once because it for some reason it felt like a dating sim to me, which it kind of is, and there was just too many characters for me. I wanted Ominusuke. I didn't like the second character, even though I like his backstory being like he's half demon and half human, because his mom was a snake lady. Also, it had a crazy rock theme song in it for some reason. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, cool! It even shows you the rain in the background. I think this is not copyrighted. Oh, it shouldn't be copyrighted hard. It is video game music. Oh, I wonder how you even get these rips. It must have been from a different game. Yeah, I think supposedly you probably ripped it off from. God. Would it be. I guess either the Resident Evil Chronicles games or any games that revolves. No. Definitely not RE0. Because here's the thing. The reason why I'm very skeptical of this, and I know this is not a very, this is from a game rip. Because this takes all the games up to 3. Oh yeah, the music and the director's cut of this and sucked ass. That's because supposedly the sound director or the music producer was deaf. Or it's not supposedly, because he wasn't deaf. Because later on he made a bunch of good music from Capcom, especially the Minutia series mostly. But then he got to the point where he actually made music for the freaking Olympics. Then also did a tribute song to a tragedy. But here's the thing: he was also using a ghostwriter, and when the ghostwriter got like fed up with him, especially after the Grammys or something like that, or it's the biggest award he got, he basically came out and said, "I'm the ghostwriter. This guy's a fraud." He could hear this actually got exposed on an interview when he actually responded to a doorbell. So the fake Beethoven got exposed, and this is the reason why a lot of the old music from the games is really hard to get. Because due to the legal problems it has with the ghostwriter and him, since he was a fraud, a lot of the old music is kind of hard to grab. I don't think the GameCube one was made by him though, so I think that one's still good. So a lot of the stuff is just being recorded from the classic stuff. Anywho, what was I talking about? I got distracted by the music. Oh yeah, the art in this one's pretty good too. I have a weird history with RE3. I played it one time, but I beat it in one night. And I actually have a nice a weird attachment to it, despite the fact I only beat it once. We only had the guy eating chips means. Wait, that. Oh. What does it say again? Oh yeah. I'm probably gonna go through my history with all the Resident Evil games. Buckle up. I guess you could. Let me make a marker for this so I actually can remember this. So, of course, this doesn't work now. Why doesn't it work now? Why do you hate me now? Yeah. Survival. Ew. This is the one regarded as the worst Resident Evil game because it was a light gun shooter game. Mostly because, unless you had a light gun, mostly because it had a weird way to do it. It was supposed to be an arcade shooter somewhat, but it was very hard to do stuff. Not to mention a lot of items you have to find in the environment and shoot them and get them. Not to mention a lot of people didn't like the character, I think. What's going on with Discord? But now my pointing finger works. Song fan voice over Cyber. Code Veronica. I played the PS2 one. I remember getting it, but I think I was in college. So I got to this one way later, and I didn't beat it because the last boss fight was kind of hard, and I didn't like loading up and getting to the boss fight room. So this one was a weird one because it's one of the first modern ones you got to. You play Claire this one in Christopher Field, the brother and sister. I remember playing most of it. It was weird because it's like you could kind of do everything with the knife because the knife was actually really good on that one. And I want to say I don't think you see that many new enemies in that one either. It was just mostly a rehash. The very good lighting. The story was really weird. Secret had incest in it. RE Remake, one of the best ones. Basically, it was so good it replaced the first one in all many ways. Higher res, all the backgrounds. I should probably point this out. Other than Code Veronica, up to Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and the first one. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, the trilogy. All of those had pre-render backgrounds. So in other words, your model and some items like the enemies and like some items, enemies, and your character player model were the only 3D items in the game, 3D models in the game. Everything else was just a background. If you turn off the background, you would just see a character running around in place. I believe this is also true for Resident Evil, the remaster, the remake, basically, and RE0. Strange history of this one. This is definitely this is the first one I played to completion. That wasn't a PlayStation one. This is like the first modern one because I played 0 first, then I played the first one. This one was all kinds of weird, mostly because due to the fact you were playing a prequel for the first one, most of the enemies was just giant animals and bugs. But you still had a switching mechanic that you were able to use of characters. And you were able to swap around. You had 2 different inventories. One was stronger, one was faster. One has special abilities. Billy, I think he's only uses lighter like maybe twice. Dead aim. I think this is another light gun shooter dead. To the point where it's like the only image of this exists. It has a watermark on it. Oh no, or is that the mobile game? Shit, I think that was the mobile game. You know, back when they actually had buttons on the phones and the flip phone. I didn't notice the bar shooter. Okay, so the reason why I got on this rant. Hola. Hey, Dave. We're talking about Resident Evil. I went to the world randomly, and I realized this wasn't a multiple room area. It was just one area. Outbreak. God, the biggest fumble ever. This is the first Resident Evil game that actually had online on it. Unfortunately, from what I heard, the online was so spotty at best. It had bad reviews. Your inventory management system was very weird for most games. But a lot of people liked it. Like, I liked it. You can technically play it single player, but it'd be very difficult to do. But you can basically beat the missions in like 10 minutes or 20 minutes if you know what you're doing. It's just some other way for it. I'm doing pretty good. I'm talking about Resident Evil. I mean, VR. Anywho, that one's weird. A lot of people want to remaster that one because we want the game to actually have working online on that one. RE4, the GOAT, of course, to the point where it basically changed so many games after this point. It basically defined third-person shooters to some degree as well, because they had a new aiming style. Made RE Resident Evil, the top-down, survival horror game into pure action at this point. So that's when they had like QTEs with button prompts, over-the-shoulder aiming, hit detection enemies. It did like a bunch of crazy stuff. Also, I'm gonna pause it here. The development alone for Resident Evil 4 brought about like 4 different games, I believe. One of them being Devil May Cry, because they didn't know what the hell they're gonna do with Leon, so they gave him like superpowers from a virus. They gave him a sword. Then they gave him the ability to change to the different forms, and at that point, it's like just making him a different character at that point, and like going around in the middle of a castle. Therefore, then when Cry came out, that second one is like, well, what if we gave him a samurai sword and have him run around this Japanese castle instead? Then at that point, it was like, well, that made Umanusa, which also made its own like 4 different games. Really good games, by the way. They were all good games. Okay, so how about we give him we play a female character this time, and you have a dog. This also made Hunting Ground. I need to be a little bit more. Hunting Ground, it's a very different game. A little bit creepy, but that's the whole point of it. And I want to say, I don't think it did. No, it's really hard to find because it's a rare game. If you ever eliminate it, I suggest you do it. Because otherwise, it's impossible to get. There was also, I don't think Clock Tower came out at that time. I think that was not Capcom. That was Konami, I believe. So we were on that one. But yeah, the point is, development alone made like 3 different games, and all of them became successful. But near the end of the development, it's like they needed to come out with the game. But the guy who made freaking Kamiya, the guy who made Devil May Cry, he got off into that game, came back, and came in with this. So this game defined a whole different genre, made a new thing, and made Resident Evil 2 a different kind of series entirely. I'm gonna take some break to breathe. Deadly Silence. I believe this was the DS one, which was basically just the PS1 version that has slightly better graphics, and you had to use the touchscreen to use the knife, and like you basically did some of the puzzles on the DS. But the basic idea, you basically had the RE1 on your DS, so people wanted the GameCube one instead. But if you want to play the old one, that's still technically the best way to play the older one, because it had some new stuff. Drink water. All right. Yeah, that's what I said. Umbrella Chronicles. One of the first 5 Wii games I own. Fun fact, I own the Wii, but I actually bought more GameCube games because of that. This one covers all the games at this point. So 1, 2, 3, and it didn't do 4. But it did do, yeah, you can see the protagonist. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. And it had an extra story mode. They basically try to explain what Umbrella Chronicles was about. Rescue, of course. I think this came after the 5, though. So, here's 5. This is basically RE4 on steroids. Also, Chris was also on steroids. He punches the boulder. That being said, It actually had proper co-op on it, and it's one of the best co-op games to play, other than Halo, Time Splitters, and there's probably another one. No one cares about Two Brothers. Everyone just plays this for the video, and that's it. But they're still good co games. I should not say that. But God, I remember playing that with my friend from high school, and we did the whole thing in one day. And God, that's been back then when we were just sitting at the couch and playing games all day. Dark Sides Chronicles. This was the sequel to Umbrella Chronicles. I did not play this one, and from what I heard, it was actually worse than the first one. But it had extra stories that no one played. He even explained what the hell Krauser was to Leon at that time, doing his training. Because I don't think he actually covered the old games. I think it was the new stories. So after this, we're gonna go to the dark era. So this is the dark timeline for Resident Evil games. Because after this one, they started doing different developments. As in, let's get a bunch of studios to make them. Granted, Revelation, these are the old, better, older ones, I think. You can still get these, and they're alright. I never played them because they were also going off of co-op as well. So it was split screen. You actually could do some kind of a survival mode and had a bunch of DLC as well. The horror themes kind of came back, but not really. There's Revelations 1 and 2. First one was with Jill and some other guy, I don't know his name. And I think he also played Chris in that one too. He had a bunch of characters. But he also played off on Zonica stuff. But RE6, this basically told RE to slow down and just stop doing stupid shit. Because this was the worst one that came out in a long time. This one had all the co-ops. So we had I can't remember the name. Don't remember his name. Chris Redfield, they were together, highly implied to be a couple. Cyril from the first game, or second game. Jack, who was the son of Wesker. Leon, so a lot of people played Leon. Ada in the corner, she has her own separate mode. I'm not done talking yet. I'm going back. Also, some of Leon's partner, I can barely remember her name. She had a whole deal with her sister. I beat the whole game in 2 days, and never played it again. Maybe played legendary mode for the funny costumes. Hated the combat. The inventory system was too complicated because the inventory HUD kept changing it for every character or the story modes. Ada's campaign literally was only playable with one person until they added a agent to it. I hate catting it. Yes, that was hunk because it makes the most sense. Played all the campaigns and I was just disappointed. I didn't buy it. I borrowed someone's copy. Ah, God. Jake's section was heavily stealth-focused and hand-to-hand combat for some reason. The hand-to-hand was fine, and you had diving attacks, and you're able to shoot 2 pistols at the same time for every character. Problem is, though, it had a stamina system. The stamina system was very limited, too. It took forever. You were supposed to grind out for points, so you actually could do more stuff. But getting points at the time, for me, was extremely hard to do. Not to mention you kind of had to play with infinite ammo, because I literally get into the last boss and one of the Leon campaigns online with someone else. And I literally ran out of ammo during a shooting sequence when you had to be on an elevator for a certain amount of time, shoot the enemy, but I ran out of ammo and I couldn't shoot the boss. They did not do enough damage, and just constantly died at that point, to the point where the other guy who was with me the entire time just left, even though we did like 5 missions together. So yeah, that was a bit disappointing. So they made it option to give you infinite ammo because ammo was so bad at that game. Hold on, I actually need to breathe. Ah. Man, how people do this? I think you're talking too quickly. Revelations 2 now. This came out right after 6, and oddly enough, it was better than 6 because it was co-op. One the entire time he had Claire, some new Barry's daughter, Barry himself, and some other girl that randomly found. And here's the thing: the whole bit of it is both campaigns. You have played a character that didn't use guns. Due to a trauma from the character on the left, she refuses to touch a gun, and a little girl obviously could not use weapons. To order to get around that, basically the other person would either hold a flashlight for them or did other puzzles. And if I remember correctly, the little girl was able to see invisible enemies. RE7 basically brought the whole game series back to life, made the game a lot more slower down, way more creepy, put everything in the first person view as well, and just brought everything back to base level. As in, you're in a mansion, you have limited resources. For some reason, there's like 20 different puzzles you gotta get through, and like a bunch of lock combination doors. Slow things way down, and felt a lot better. And it's just probably one of the first horror, one of the horror games that mostly take place during the day. RE2 remake, very good. Basically used the same system they did for 7, but made it third person. This is also the same system they used for RE4 remake, and made it pretty good. I actually played this one. I don't think it finished up Claire's storyline scenario though. It took me forever to go through Leon's. Ada was also pretty good too. I got through that one decently. I don't remember. I think I recorded it. I think I might stream it, but I don't think I have any footage. This is before I started recording stuff. Really, I just let the stuff die. Oh, wait, was I streaming it this time? I can't remember. I don't think I was. Alright, 3. It's just as bad as the first one. It's bad. It's still as bad as the third series. Because, oddly enough, they just said, let's just recycle the same environments and places again. Which makes sense, because that's how the third one was. But it also made it incredibly short. You could beat it in 3 hours, basically. And it was a full price, I think. It just didn't add a lot of content and didn't really change things up. It's a weird game. Also, for some reason, Jill was very different in terms of character. And I don't know, personally, I don't like the redesign for Nemesis. I don't like the big multiple teeth. Like the tiny little teeth he has. Village. I played this one on stream, I think. Did I play on stream? I remember playing it a lot. Obviously, this development was not going well until they showed one character. Okay, and guess what character it is? Do you see the tall character? Where was that? That's right. It was Dimitri. As soon as people saw that character, everyone went feral. And that game sold pretty well. I liked it. I think I did maybe one more playthrough of it. Reverse. This game went out and died terribly. To the point, it's impossible to get into the match right now. Because people hate it even when it's announced. You got a free copy if you bought with RE8. I still have it. It's unplayable now. One of the worst ones. Oh god, we didn't even talk about the other online one they had before this one. That also died. It's hard to get a match there because I remember looking up a video on this, and it was literally a guy trying to get the achievements for the game, which is only online matches. And here's RE4. I haven't beat this one because my computer hates it. Alright. Oh damn it! I talked about Resident Evil for a long time. A really long time. Let me go ahead and make another marker. I'm literally just to cut the whole bit and it's just upload it.